अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताका स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवाद पाश्चात्यादेश तारिणी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यास ततो जयमुदीरये। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधु व्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Chaitanya Charitamrita, text 61. Therefore, Lord Krishna is the original cause of the cosmic manifestation. Prakriti is like the nipples on the neck of a goat, for they cannot give any milk. The Maya aspect of material nature is the immediate cause of the cosmic manifestation, but it cannot be the real cause, for the original cause is Lord Narayana. Just as the original cause of an earthen pot is the potter, so the creator of the material world is the first Purusha incarnation. Karanarana Bhasai Vishnu. Lord Krishna is the creator, and Maya only help him as an instrument, just like the potter's wheel and other instruments which are the instrumental cause of a pot. The first Purusha cast his glance at Maya. The first Purusha casts his glance at Maya from a distance, and thus he impregnates her with the seed of life in the form of the living entities. The reflected rays of his body mix with Maya, and thus Maya gives birth to married universes. The Purusha enters each and every one of the countless universes. He manifests himself in as many separate forms as there are universes. When the Purusa exhales, the universes are manifested with each outward breath. Therefore, thereafter, when he inhales, all the universes again enter his body. Just as atomic particles of dust pass through the openings of a window, so the networks of universes pass through the pores of the skin of the Purusa. The Brahmas and other lords of the mundane world appear from the pores of Mahavishnu and remain alive for the duration of his one exhalation. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, of whom Mahavishnu is a portion of a plenary portion. Where am I, a small creature of 7 spans of measure of my own hand? I am enclosed in the universe composed of material nature. The total material energy, false ego, either air, water, and earth. And what is your glory? Unlimited universes pass through the pores of your body, just like particles of dust passing through the opening of a window. A part of a whole is called Kala. Sri Balarama is the counterform of Lord Govinda. Balarama's own expansion is called Mahashankarsana, and his fragment, the Purusa, is counted as a Kala, or a part of a plenary portion. I say that this Kala is Mahavishnu. He is the Mahapurusa, who is the source of the other Purusa, and who is all pervading. Garbhodakshai and Kshirodakshai are both called Purusa. They are plenary portion of Karanodakshai Vishnu, the first Purusa, who is the abode of all the universes. Vishnu has 3 forms called Purusa. The first Mahavishnu is the creator of the total material energy, Mahat. The second is Garbhodaksha, who is situated within each universe, and the third is Kshirodaksha, who lived in the heart of every living being. He who knows these 3 becomes liberated from the clutches of Maya. Although Karanodakshai Vishnu is called a Kala of Lord Krishna, he is the source of Matsya, Kurma, and the other incarnations. Uh, all these incarnations of Godhead are either plenary portion or parts of the plenary portion of the Purusa Avatara, but Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. In every age, He protects the world through His different features. When the world is disturbed by the enemies of Indra. That Purusa, Karanodaksha Vishnu, is the performer of creation, maintenance and destruction. He manifests Himself in many incarnations, for He is the maintainer of the world. That fragment of the Supreme Lord, known as the Mahapurusa, appears for the purpose of creation, many maintenance and annihilation, and is called in incarnation. That Mahapurusa is identical with the personality of Godhead. He is the original incarnation, the seed of all others, and the shelter of everything. The Purusa Mahavishnu is the primary incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Time, nature, Prakriti as cause of effects, the mind, the material elements, false ego, the moods of nature, the senses, the universal form, complete independence, and the moving and non-moving beings appear subsequently as His opulences. In the beginning of the creation, the Lord expanded Himself in the form of the Purusa incarnation, accompanied by all the ingredients of material incarnation. First, He created the 16 principal energies suitable for creation. This was for the purpose of manifesting the material universe. Although the Lord is the shelter of everything, and although all the universes rest in Him, He is the super soul as also the support of everything. Although He is thus connected with the material energy in two ways, He does not have the slightest contact with it. This is the opulence of the Lord. Although situated within the material nature, He is never affected by the modes of nature. Similarly, those who have surrendered to Him and have fixed their intelligence upon Him are not influenced by the modes of nature. Thus, the Bhagavad Gita also states again and again that the absolute truth always possesses inconceivable power. Lord Krishna said, I am situated in the material world, and the world rests in me. But at the same time, I am not situated in the material world, nor does it rest in me in truth. Oh Arjuna, you should know this as my uh, inconceivable opulence. This is the meaning propagated by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. That Mahapurusha, Karanodakshai Vishnu, is known as plenary part of him who is Lord Nityananda Balarama, the favorite associate of Lord Chaitanya. I have thus explained in 9th verse, and now I shall explain the 10th. Please listen with rapt attention. I offer my obeisances unto the feet of Sri Nityananda Rama, partial part of whom is Garbhodakshay Vishnu. From the navel of Garbhodakshay Vishnu sports the lotus that is the birthplace of Brahma, the engineer of the universe. The stem of that lotus is the resting place of the multitude of planets. After creating millions of universes, the first Purusha entered into each of them in the separate form as Sri Garbhodakshayi. Entering the universe, he found only darkness with no place in which to reside. Thus he began to consider. Then he created water from the perspiration of his own body, and with that water filled half the universe. The universe measured 500 million yojanas. Its length and breadth are one and the same. After filling half the universe with water, he made his own residence therein and manifested the 14 words in the other half. There he manifested Vaikuntha as his own abode and rested in the water on the bed of Lord Sisa. He lay there with Ananta and his bed. Lord Ananta is a divine serpent having thousands of heads, thousands of faces, thousands of eyes, and thousands of hands and feet. He is the seed of all incarnations and is the cause of the material world. From his navel grew a lotus flower, which became the birthplace of Lord Brahma. Within the stem of that lotus were the 14 words. Thus the Supreme Lord as Brahma created the entire creation. And as Lord Vishnu, he maintains the entire world. Lord Vishnu, being beyond all material attributes, has no touch with the material qualities. Assuming the form of Rudra, he He is the super soul, Hiranyagarbha, the cause of the material world. The universal form is conceived as his expansion. That Lord Narayana is a part of a plenary part of Lord Nityananda Balrama, who is the source of all incarnation. I have thus explained the 10th verse. Now please listen to the meaning of the 11th verse with all your mind. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the feet of Sri Nityananda Rama, whose secondary part is the Vishnu living in the ocean of milk. That Kshirodaksha Vishnu is the super soul of all living entities and the maintainer of all the universes. Sesanaga is his further sub-part. The material planets rest within the stem that grows from the lotus navel of Lord Narayana. Among these planets are 7 oceans. There is part of the ocean of milk, lives Shweta-dvipa, the abode of the sustainer Lord Vishnu. He is the super soul of all living entity. He maintains this material world and he is its Lord. In the ages and millenniums of Manu, he appears as different incarnation to establish the principles of real religion and vanquish the principles of irreligion. Unable to see him, the demigod go to the shore of the ocean of milk and offer praise to him. He then descends to maintain the material world. His unlimited opulences cannot be counted. That Lord Vishnu is but a part of a plenary portion of Lord Nityananda, who is the source of all incarnation. That same Lord Vishnu is the form of Lord Shesha, holds the planets upon his heads, although he does not know where they are, for he cannot feel their extents upon his heads. His thousands of extended hoods are adorned with dazzling jewels, surpassing the sun. The universe, which measures 500 million yojanas in diameter, rests on one of his hoods like a mustard seeds. That Ananta Shesha is the devotee incarnation of Godhead. He knows nothing but service to Lord Krishna. With his thousands of mouths, he sings the glory of Lord Krishna, but although he always sings in that way, he does not find an end to the qualities of the Lord. The four Kumaras hear Srimad Bhagavatam from his lips, and they in turn repeat it in the transcendental bliss of love of Godhead. He serves Lord Krishna, assuming all the following from umbrella, slippers, bedding, pillow, garment, resting chair, residence, sacred thread and thorn. He is thus called Lord Shesha, for he had attained the ultimate end of servitude of Krishna. He takes many forms for the service of Krishna, and thus he serves the Lord. That person of whom Lord Ananta is a Kala, or part of a plenary part, is Lord Nityananda Prabhu, who therefore can know the pastimes of Lord Nityananda. From this conclusion, we can know the limit of the truth of Lord Nityananda. But what glory is there in calling him Ananta? But I accept it as the truth because it has been said by devotees, since He is the source of all incarnations, everything is possible in Him. They know that there is no difference between the incarnation and the source of all incarnations. Previously, Lord Krishna was regarded in the light of different principles by different people. Some said that Krishna was directly Lord Narayana, and some called him Lord Vamana Deva incarnate. Some called Lord Krishna in incarnation of Lord Kshirodakshi, or all these names are true. Nothing is impossible. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna appears, He is the shelter of all plenary parts. Thus, at that time, all His plenary portion join in Him. In whatever form one knows the Lord, one speaks of Him in that way. In this there is no falsity, since everything is possible in Krishna. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has exhibited to everyone all the pastime of all the various incarnations. Thus, Lord Nityananda has unlimited incarnations in transcendental emotion. He calls himself a servant of Lord Chaitanya. Sometimes he serves Lord Chaitanya as his guru, sometimes as his friend, and sometimes as his servant. And just as Lord Balrama played with Lord Krishna in these three different modes in Brija. Playing like the bull, Lord Balrama fight with Krishna head to head, and sometimes Lord Krishna massages the Lord Krishna massages the feet of Lord Balrama. He considers himself a servant and knows Krishna to be his master. Thus he regards himself as a fragment of his plenary portion. Acting just like ordinary boys, they played like roaring bulls as they fought each other, and they imitated the calls of various animals. Sometime when Lord Krishna's elder brother Lord Balrama felt tired after playing and lay his head on the lap of a cowherd boy, Lord Krishna himself served him by massaging his feet. Who is this mystic power, and where has she come from? Is she a demigod or a demoness? She must be the illusory energy of my master, Lord Krishna, for who else can bewilder me? is the value of a throne to Lord Krishna, the master of the various planetary system, accept the dust of his lotus feet on their crowned heads. That dust make the holy places sacred, and even Lord Balram, Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lakshmi, and I myself, who are all portions of his plenary portion, eternally carry that dust on our needs. Lord Krishna alone is the supreme controller, and all others are his servant. They dance as he makes them do so. हरे कृष्णा। इसी के साथ मैं अपनी वाणी को विराम